All right, so here we are about to peel back the layers on one of the most electrifying, controversial, and just downright fascinating figures of our time, Mike Tyson. Welcome to our exclusive tour of Mike Tyson's life. We're not just scratching the surface, man. We're going deep. Think about it. This is a guy who reached the absolute pinnacle of his sport, faced insane adversity, and somehow is still standing, still evolving. It's a wild ride, and you're strapped in with us. We're going to be walking through the kind of stuff that blows your mind. So, get comfortable, maybe grab a drink, because this is going to be one hell of an exploration into the world of Iron Mike. Let's get into it. So, first up, let's talk about where a guy like Mike Tyson lays his head, right? His crib. We're starting with a look inside Mike Tyson's stunning mansion. And when I say stunning, I mean it's the kind of place that makes you stop and just go, whoa, this house is a true reflection of his success and style, but also you got to think it's a sanctuary. A place where a guy who's lived such an insane public life can find some peace. Or at least that's the idea, right? It's probably seen some wild parties too. Let's be real, you walk into these places, and it's not just about the square footage, which is undoubtedly massive. It's the feel of it. Does it feel like a home, or does it feel like a museum to a guy's own success? With Tyson, I imagine it's a bit of both. You'd expect some opulence, some larger-than-life elements, because that's Mike. He doesn't do things by halves. Think about the kind of pressure he was under, the kind of money flowing. A house becomes more than shelter. It's a symbol, a statement to the world and maybe to himself that he made it. I bet there are rooms in there that tell stories, man. A gym, for sure, probably state-of-the-art. A place where the ghost of that ferocious power still hangs in the air. Maybe a screening room, because who doesn't love movies? All right, let's shift gears, literally. Next, we'll check out Mike Tyson's incredible car collection. Now, you know me, I appreciate a fine piece of machinery. And for a guy like Tyson who had that explosive power, that speed, that raw aggression, you just know his taste in cars is going to be something else. It's not just about getting from A to B, it's about the statement, the feel, the sheer thrill of it. From luxury cars to rare classics, his garage is a car enthusiast's dream, no doubt about it. Think about the kind of money he was making at his peak. It's almost unimaginable when you've got that kind of cash flowing and you're a young guy with a taste for the finer things. Cars are going to be high on the list. I'm talking Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Rolls-Royces, Bentleys, the whole nine yards. These aren't just status symbols, they're extensions of the persona. Fast, powerful, and impossible to ignore, just like Iron Mike in his prime. But it's not always just about the newest, flashiest thing, right? Sometimes it's about the classics, the cars that have a history, a soul. Now let's take a look at some of Mike Tyson's most prized possessions. And I'm not just talking about stuff that's expensive, though I'm sure there's plenty of that. I'm talking about the things that mean something deeper. These valuables tell a story of his journey and achievements. Think about it. For a guy who came from absolutely nothing, the concept of possessions must have a different weight, a different significance. It's not just accumulation, it's evidence of a transformation. First thing that comes to mind, obviously, are the championship belts. Those iconic, gleaming symbols of being the best in the world. Can you imagine holding one of those? The weight of it, not just the physical weight, but the weight of what it represents. All the training, the sacrifice, the pain, the glory. Those belts aren't just metal and leather. They're solidified history. They're a direct link to those incredible nights when he was the undisputed king. I wonder where he keeps them, how often he looks at them. But beyond the belts, what else? Jewelry for sure, boxes and bling, it's a classic combo. The heavy gold chains, the diamond-encrusted watches. Part of it is the showmanship, the image, but part of it again is that journey from poverty to unimaginable wealth. It's a way of saying, I made it. All right, let's talk about the big one, the question that's always lurking when you discuss someone this famous, the money. Ever wondered how much Mike Tyson is worth? We'll break down his net worth and how he amassed his fortune. It's a roller coaster, a financial epic with insane highs and devastating lows. It's a cautionary tale and a comeback story all rolled into one. First, you've got to understand the sheer scale of the money he was making in his prime. pay-per-view records, massive endorsement deals, appearance fees. He was a global cash cow. And with Mike, the spending was legendary. Mansions, cars, jewelry, tigers, entourages, the whole 9 yards. A kid from the ghetto, suddenly richer than kings. It's a recipe for extravagance. From Brownsville streets to global stardom, Tyson's early life. To really understand the man, you've got to go back to the beginning. Let's rewind to Mike Tyson's early life. From his humble beginnings to his rise to fame, his story is truly inspiring, but also brutal, man. We're talking about Brownsville, Brooklyn in the 60s and 70s. Not exactly a walk in the park. It was a tough environment, a place that could swallow you whole if you weren't careful or if you weren't tough enough. And Mike, well, he learned to be tough. He was a kid who was getting into trouble, a lot of trouble, arrests, juvenile detention. That was his reality. It's a story we've heard before, but with Tyson, it feels amplified. The lack of a stable father figure, the poverty, the constant threat of violence. These are the things that shape you, that forge you. You've got to imagine what that does to a young kid's psyche. You either break or you become incredibly hard. He was, by his own admission, a fearful kid, and that fear manifested as aggression. Then comes the turning point, the almost mythical figure in Tyson's life, Cus D'Amato. This legendary boxing trainer sees something in this troubled kid. He takes him in, becomes a mentor, a father figure. Cus didn't just teach him how to box, he taught him about discipline, about focus, about the psychology of fighting. He filled his head with history, with philosophy, with the idea that he could be the heavyweight champion of the world. The Reign of Iron Mike, a legendary boxing career. Now we get to the main event, the thing that made Mike Tyson a household name across the entire planet, his boxing career. Mike Tyson's career is legendary. We'll walk you through his most iconic moments and achievements in the boxing world. And man, what a career it was. Pure, unadulterated excitement. When Tyson fought, the world stopped to watch. There was an aura about him, an intimidation factor that we've rarely seen before or since. His rise through the heavyweight ranks was meteoric, just blasting through opponents. Often in the first round, the speed, the power, the ferocity, it was terrifying. He was this compact ball of muscle, moving with incredible agility, unleashing these devastating combinations. The peekaboo style, taught by Cus, made him elusive and dangerous. He wasn't just winning, he was annihilating people. He became the youngest heavyweight champion in history, and it felt like the dawn of a new era. Think about those iconic fights. Trevor Berbick to win the title, Michael Spinks, the 91-second demolition. Larry Holmes, a former great, dismantled. These weren't just boxing matches, they were events. There was a sense of danger, of unpredictability every time he stepped into the ring. The enduring legacy of Iron Mike. So there you have it, a whirlwind tour through the multifaceted, absolutely insane world of Mike Tyson. From the opulence of his homes and the roar of his car engines to the raw, brutal honesty of his early life and the legendary status of his career. It's a hell of a story, isn't it? Thanks for joining us on this journey through Mike Tyson's life. We've covered a lot of ground, and honestly, with a guy like Tyson, you feel like you could talk for days and still only scratch the surface. He's that complex, that compelling. What's clear is that Mike Tyson is more than just a boxer. He's a cultural phenomenon, a survivor, a cautionary tale, and an inspiration, all rolled into one.